Good morning, students. Welcome on my YouTube channel Sachitometry. Let's learn chemistry. In this video, I'm going to explain how to prepare acids as well as we will learn what are the physical and chemical properties of acids. So let's begin. So first I will deal or I'm going to explain how to prepare acids. There are many methods. I'm going to explain one by using or by taking examples. The first method is, so I'm going to write the heading, we are studying or I'm going to explain preparation of acids by different methods. The first method is by direct combination. Okay, how to prepare acids by direct combination. It is also called synthesis reaction or by direct synthesis. In this method or by this method, you can say that only binary acids can be prepared which contain two elements. Like example, when H2 reacts with Cl2, it gives HCl. Similarly, when H2 reacts with sulfur, it gives hydrogen sulfide, H2S, or H2 react with Br2 bromine, it gives HBr. Or more examples are when H2 react with iodine, I2, it gives hydrogen iodide. Now balance it, multiply here 2, it is already balanced, multiply here 2 and here multiply by 2. So in this case, by this method, you can only prepare hydric acid. So question can come, give example of hydric acid. So what is hydric acid? Hydric acid, the acid which contains hydrogen but do not contain oxygen. This is the important line of this method. It doesn't contain, I can say, it's not containing oxygen atom. Other than oxygen, it contains all kinds of atoms, but it contains only two atoms. You must remember, it contains two atoms of an element. That's why it is also called binary acid. So this is the first method by which we can prepare acid. Now we are going to see the second method. It is very simple method and you have to learn the reactions in. Now the second method is by reaction of acidic oxide. By reaction of acidic oxide is also called acidic anhydride or acid anhydride. You must remember this word. Yes, it is acidic oxides are also called acidic anhydride. Reaction of acidic oxide with water. Okay, it means when water reacts with acidic oxide, it gives acid. So let's see the reaction. Acidic oxide, generally non-metal oxides are called acidic oxide. You must remember this line. Non-metal oxides are called acidic oxides. Example, carbon dioxide, nitrogen pentoxide. You can say more example, P2O5. You can say more example, SO2. You can take more example, SO3. These all are acidic oxide. So when they react with water, it forms H2, H2CO3 carbonic acid, which is a weak mineral acid. With water, N2O5 will give nitric acid. Similarly, when P2O5 react with water, it gives H3PO4, it means phosphoric acid. Now we'll see the more example. how it takes place. When SO2 reacts with water, it gives H2SO3. Its name is sulfurous acid. And the same way, when SO3 react with water or dissolve in water, it gives sulfuric acid. So these are the methods or method by which you can prepare oxy acid. So question can come, give example of oxy acids. So you can also say the compound or the acid which contains oxygen along with more elements, but there must be oxygen. That type of acids are called oxy acid. So question can come. So you must remember this example and how they are prepared. They are prepared by dissolving of acetic oxide in water. Then oxy acid can be prepared. One more thing you have to remember here in this method. When nitrogen dioxide react or dissolve in water, it gives two types of acid, that is nitric acid and nitrous acid. Two types of acid it will give. This is why it is called double acid anhydride. So question can come, why nitrogen dioxide is called double acidic anhydride or double acid anhydride? So your answer will be because when nitrogen dioxide dissolve in water or reacts with water, it gives two types of acids, that is nitric acid and nitrous acid. This is why it is called double acidic anhydride or double acid anhydride. So the second method is over. Now we are going to move to the third method, and the third method is very important and that you have to learn anyhow. You have to remember that reaction. The third method is by oxidation of non-metals. Okay, by using an oxidizing agent. So in your syllabus, I want to tell you that I'm giving the lessons, or this video is for ICSE class 10th. So till your level, given only two non-metals, that is sulfur and phosphorus. So when these two non-metals are oxidized by an oxidizing agent, and the oxidizing agent is taken concentrated HNO3, in both the cases concentrated HNO3. So I'm not going to tell step by step how sulfur is oxidized and giving respective acids, because it is not given in your syllabus. So just I'm going to write the final products, and you have to learn that. So remember, when sulfur is oxidized by concentrated nitric acid, it gives sulfuric acid. Got it? And at the same time, if phosphorus is oxidized, it gives phosphoric acid. What is the common in both the reaction? In both the reaction, the side products will be NO2 and H2O. Here also NO2 and H2O. So you can easily remember, because these two products are common for both the reactions. Only difference is when sulfur oxidizes, it gives sulfuric acid, and when phosphorus oxidizes, it gives phosphoric acid. Very simple. So this is very important reaction, you can say, because this reaction is again given in the next chapter. That is we learn how to prepare hydrochloric acid. In that lesson is also given the reaction, or that is also given, it is given in the nitric acid also. So not in hydrochloric acid, it is given in nitric acid chapter. So if you remember here, then it will be easy to understand when we will learn how to prepare sulfuric acid or phosphoric acid in the respective chapters. Now we are going to moving to the next method of preparation of acid. and that method is preparation of volatile acid. Preparation of volatile acid. Volatile acid means HCl and HNO3, which may volatilize by using salts of volatile. By using, you can say, by using volatile salts and non-volatile acid. By using non-volatile acid example is concentrated H2SO4. You have to remember this. It means we are going to prepare hydrochloric acid and nitric acid by using salts of the respective chloride and respective nitrites. Example, see the reaction. Salts of chloride is NaCl. You are very familiar with this reaction. And the salts of nitrate is sodium nitrate. In spite of taking sodium chloride, you can take also KCl, potassium chloride, or here you can take potassium nitrate. So when they react with concentrated H2SO4. Now I'm going to explain one by one so easily you can understand. Here there will be two conditions. The first condition is if temperature is above 200. Temperature is above 200 degrees Celsius. And the second condition is temperature is below 200 degrees Celsius. In both the cases, product will be different. You can say product will be different means you can say when temperature is below 200, it will give acidic salt. When temperature is above 200, it will give base normal salt. But one thing you remember, till it is not asked or not mentioned in the question, temperature above 200, you don't write this product. If it is mentioned, then you can write this product. If it is not mentioned, you always try to write the product what is formed below 200 degrees Celsius. You must remember this. Now, how we will write the product? I am giving the key. If temperature is above 200, you know that radical, it can react, it can give NaCl, Na plus and Cl minus. And if temperature is above 200, it can dissociate into H plus and SO4 2 minus. The concept is the positive of the first will go with the negative of the second. You can see here is divalent, here is monovalent, and here is divalent, so it will give Na2SO4. But at the same time, if temperature is below 200 degrees Celsius, then it will give H plus and SO4. It will give HSO4 minus and H plus. It dissociate into this way. And same method, positive of the first will go with the negative of the second reactant. Both are monovalent, so your product will give NaHSO4, sodium bisulfate. And one more product will form in both the cases. The positive of the second will go with the negative of the first reactant, and both are monovalent, so will give HCl. Okay. Then you have to balance the equation if required. The same way you can take like salts of nitrate, you can take NaNO3, and similarly you can take two different temperature below 2 and above 2, then you have to write the product. I'm not going to write that. You have to practice what will be the product at above 200 and below 200 degrees Celsius. So these are the methods by which or through which acids can be prepared. You have to learn all the methods for preparation of acids. Now we are moving to the next step, the next point, that is what are the physical properties of acids. So we are going to see one by one. The first is You know that acids test is sarin test. So this is the first physical properties is test is sarin test. You one more thing you remember that mineral acid you can't test and say that it is sarin test because it is corrosive in nature. So a question can ask that can we taste mineral acid or not. Simply say no because it is corrosive in nature. Corrosive means when it comes in contact with our body it may cause some burning or something, some problem can create. Now this is the first point. The second point we are going to move, that is you can say is acids act like electrolyte or not. Yes, electrolyte means the compounds which conduct electricity in aqueous state or molten state. It means acids conduct electricity in aqueous state or in molten state. Now the next point you can say that what are the states, means solid state, liquid state or gaseous state. You can remember at room temperature you can say acids exist in a solid state as well as in liquid state. You know that liquid state sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid, these are exist in liquid state, but there are many acids which exist in solid state also. So you have to learn the few examples if you want. Now we are moving to the next physical property, and that you can say what are the effect on indicators. So you know that there are two types of indicator. One is laboratory indicator, and second you can say household indicator. Okay, there are two types of indicator, household indicator and laboratory indicator. In laboratory indicator we use litmus paper. Here we use litmus paper, we use methyl orange, and one more is phenolphthalein. These are called laboratory indicators. Now we'll see what are the effects of acids on these indicators. So when acids or acid is added on the litmus paper, then litmus paper will turn from blue to red. You must remember. And when methyl orange is added to acid solution, methyl orange color is orange will change into pink. And when phenolphthalein is a solution, when it is added to an acid, then phenolphthalein is a colorless, this color is a no color, and after addition into the solution of acid it remains colorless. So you have to remember this. We'll do practical when school will reopen. We'll do the practical and then we'll see is it happening or not. So that will be the learning by doing. But here we are not doing learning by doing. We are just learning. We are not doing. We are remembering. We are memorizing. You know that there are very many household indicators. You can say red cabbage is household indicator. Red cabbage, or you can say turmeric. Turmeric is also household indicators, means that indicator which is at home and that we can test at home, that is acidic or basic. Very famous example is soap is basic or acidic, we don't know, just you try once, it is basic or acidic. Lemon, you don't know, suppose you don't know if it is acid or base, so you can do that activity at your house. Red cabbage, the color is red. When you add acid on the red cabbage remains red, must remember. But if you add base on red cabbage, its color will change from red to green. Okay, so that I will give you in the next video when we'll study about bases. Then I will explain what is happening when base is added to the red cabbage. But our topic is acid. Now when acid is added to turmeric, everybody knows turmeric color is yellow. When it is added acid, today you do this experiment and find out what is happening when acids or household acid, that you can say lemon, tamarind, orange, when these are added to turmeric, what is happening. You do this experiment and find out. You can say that solution is acidic or basic. So that is, I'm leaving for you. You do this experiment and find out. Now next, one more important point is given in your book, that is olfactory indicators. So question can come, what is olfactory indicators? So if come, you say there are substance whose odor, smell or odor can change on addition of acid or bases. It means उसका जो ऑर्डर है, जो स्मेल है, जब आप उसमें एसिड ऐड करते हैं या उसमें बेस ऐड करते हैं, तो उसका जो एक्चुअल जो स्मेल है वो हो सकता है कि चेंज हो सकता है. अगर ऐसा होता है, इफ इट इज हैपनिंग, दैट सब्सटेंस इज सेड टू बी olfactory indicators. So you must remember the definition. Very famous example, of you are familiar with that example, onion. You know that some people doesn't like smell of onion, but you like smell of vanilla. Everybody like vanilla ice cream. Vanilla is also an indicator, like you can say olfactory indicators, or you can also say clove oil. Clove oil is also an example of olfactory indicators. So when you add acids or bases on these indicators, their smell may change. One example I'm just saying, onion. You know that you're familiar with the smell of onion. When you add acid on onion, then its smell remain as it is. There will be no change. But at the same time, when you add base on onion, it smell can't recognize, means its smell is vanished. So these are the substance which we call them indicators. That is olfactory indicators. You must remember, this is a very, very important point. So these are the physical properties that I discussed during this session. Now we are going to move to the very important section, and that is chemical properties of acids. Chemical properties means by using or by adding chemicals, we have to know that what are the effects on that acid. So let's start. I hope I'm clear to you all. From long time I'm teaching, from 15 minutes or more than 15 minutes I'm speaking, so it might become boring, but what can I do? Chemistry, this chapter is a little boring, you can say, but you have to learn, because we know that acids, bases and salts are very useful for us in household activities also. We should know that which is acid, which is base, which is salts. If you don't know, means you can say that you are tasteless. I can say that you are tasteless if you are not knowing which is acid, which is base, or which is salt. So we need to understand what are acids, what are bases, and what are salts, right? So we are moving to the next point, that is chemical properties of acids. Okay, I will give a very simple method that you will understand easily. Okay, let's learn. The first is a reaction with active metals. A reaction with active metals. Active metals we have already studied in class 8. If you have not watched, if you are not knowing, go to my channel Sachitometry. You will find that the lesson activity series. You will get to know that what are active metals and what are the reactions with different chemicals. So if you are not knowing, you can watch. Now active metals example, you can take sodium, you can take potassium, you can take aluminum, you can take zinc, you can take magnesium. These all are active metals. The concept is when active metals react with acid, it always give salt plus hydrogen gas. This concept you have to remember. If you remember this concept, easily you can write all kinds of reactions which are based on active metals and acids. So this is the concept, always give salt and hydrogen. One more thing I want to say, that hydrogen, how you can recognize that gas is hydrogen. So very simple recognition is it burns with a pop sound. You must remember, if question comes how you can recognize the gas is hydrogen, so very simple, you can say it burns with a pop sound. Now reaction, what will be the reaction? I will write only one reaction and rest you have to practice. So take acid, I am taking here acid, HCl. Very simple, you break into ions. You know that hydrogen is monovalent and Cl is monovalent, chloride and hydrogen ion. And sodium, you know that its atomic number is 11, its configuration is 281. You can say that sodium is a metal which can lose one electron. And we know that also when metal lose electrons, it carry positive charge. So it is losing one electron, it means it carry one positive charge, right? So the positive of the metal part or metal will go with the negative of the second reactant. Now you can see that both are monovalent, so product will give NaCl. It is called salt because it doesn't contain any more hydrogen atoms, or it doesn't contain hydroxyl ion. That's why it is called normal salt. The side product will be H plus will go in the form of hydrogen gas. Okay, now you have to balance the reaction if it is required. You must remember that you have to balance reaction anyhow in exam. If you are not balancing, means you are not getting any mark in spite of writing, or you have written correct answer, you have written the correct product, but if your reactions are not balanced, you will not get, or you will be not awarded by any marks. So you have to practice rest of the reactions. One more thing I want to add here in the first reaction, that you can take here HCl or H2SO4 for the reaction with the active metal, but you can say that nitric acid is a very strong oxidizing agent. Once again, I'm going to repeat, nitric acid is very strong oxidizing agent, so it will not react with active metals because it gives different product. But there are few exceptions when manganese and magnesium react with very dilute nitric acid, very dilute nitric acid, it will give salt plus hydrogen gas. Okay, so you have to write the reaction in the same way. Once again, I'm going to repeat the same. You must remember, if question is asked which metals can be, or which metal react with very dilute nitric acid and gives hydrogen gas, so answer will be manganese or magnesium. Or question can come, which gas is produced when manganese or magnesium is oxidized by, react with very dilute nitric acid, so answer will be hydrogen gas. So this is a very important point. You have to practice the reaction. I'm not going to write. So we'll move to the next point. Now the second reaction is a reaction with alkali, or you can say base. So the concept is, when acid react with alkali or base, it always give salt plus water. You must remember this key. This is the concept. Now we'll take example. HCl is an acid, H2SO4 is an acid, H2CO3 is an acid, HNO3 is an acid. We are talking for properties of dilute acid. You must remember, talking discussing reactions of dilute acids, not for the concentrated. Base, we have not studied base, but you should know that bases are compound which contains either oxides ion or hydroxide ion, that are called bases. One more term has came, alkali. What is alkali? You can say that we'll study in detail, but here just I'm giving introduction. Alkalis are those bases which are soluble in water. One more thing, remember, all bases are not alkali, but all alkalis are bases. Then what are alkali? Soluble bases are called alkali. Okay, take example. You know that, very familiar with the potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, copper oxide. These all are alkali or bases. So only one I'll explain and rest you have to practice. Again the same method, break into ions. It will break into H plus, it will be Cl minus, K plus and OH minus. Cross multiply, positive negative of the first will go with the positive of the second reactant. Both are monovalent, so product will be KCl, and as you know that formula of water, so you can write here H2O. If reaction is not balanced, you have to balance the reactions, and the rest of the reactions you have to practice. If any doubt, you can comment me in the comment box. You can follow me on the Facebook. You can follow me on the Instagram with the same name, Sachitometry, and you can message me. You can call me. Their number already is given, so I can give you the answer. Okay. Now we are going to move to the third reaction, and that is a reaction with this. Third is reaction with metal carbonates and metal bicarbonates. It's a very common reaction. Carbonate formula is CO3 2 minus and bicarbonate formula is HCO3 minus. Now let's see the reaction. Acid plus metal carbonate. You can take metal carbonate or bicarbonate. It's up to you. Giving only one. I'm taking only one. Example, metal carbonates, or you can take bicarbonate. Bicarbonate is also called hydrogen carbonate. So don't confuse it. In the question it is hydrogen carbonate. Concept is, when acid reacts with metal carbonates and bicarbonate, it always gives salt plus water plus carbon dioxide gas. Okay, carbonate term has came or bicarbonate term has came, means which gas will give? Carbon dioxide gas. And how will you recognize that gas is carbon dioxide? You know that you have studied from class 7. Carbon dioxide gas turns lime water milky. Till here you have studied. Now I am going to add one more statement. Carbon dioxide turns lime water milky, but there is no effect on potassium dichromate solution. You must write this. Once again I am going to repeat. Carbon dioxide turns lime water milky, but there is no effect on potassium dichromate solution, acidified potassium dichromate solution. Yes. Now we'll see the reaction. We'll take one example. You can take acid HCl, you can take acid H2SO4, it's up to you. And take metal, any metal. Suppose you want to take metal sodium. Sodium is monovalent. You want to take carbonate. Carbonate is divalent. So formula will be Na2CO3. Here you can take bicarbonate, Na8CO3. Yes. So what will be the product? Same method, break into ions, H plus and Cl minus. It will break into Na plus and it will break into CO. This two will go that side. Okay. Same method. Positive of the first. Where is it? Positive of the first will go with the negative of the second. You can say both are monovalent, so it will give NaCl, and rest formula you know that you can say that it will give H2O plus CO2. You don't write H2CO3, else you will not award it by any marks. It will give H2O plus CO2, because H2O plus CO2 combined, it gives H2CO3. That is not stable. Okay, then rest of the reactions you have to practice. Now we are going to move to the next properties, the next reaction, and that is reaction with metal sulfite, SuLPHIT, or reaction with metal bisulfite. Okay, sulfite formula is SO3 2 minus and bisulfite is HSO3 minus. You must remember these radicals. So concept is, this is the fourth reaction, when acid react with metal sulfite or react with metal bisulfite, it always gives salt water plus. Now here is little change. When sulfite or bisulfite, it will give sulfur dioxide gas. Okay, again question can come, how will you recognize sulfur dioxide gas? You know that you have also studied from class 7. Sulfur dioxide turns lime water milky as carbon dioxide, but here is differences. Carbon dioxide has no effect on acidified potassium dichromate solution, right? But sulfur dioxide turns acidified potassium dichromate solution orange to clear green. Okay, again I'm going to say sulfur dioxide turns lime water milky as carbon dioxide, but carbon dioxide has no effect on acidified potassium dichromate solution, while sulfur dioxide turns acidified potassium dichromate solution orange to clear green solution. You must remember this. Now reaction, take example, I'm taking example HCl. Now here taking another example, I'm taking here potassium. I'm taking now here bisulfite. Potassium bisulfite is HSO3 minus. Potassium is monovalent, so formula will be KHSO3. Okay, break into ions, H plus and Cl minus will be K plus and HSO3 minus. The same method, positive of the first will go with the positive of the second reactant will go with the negative of the first reactant. Both are monovalent, so will give KCl, and these two will give H2O plus SO2. As already said, reaction you have to balance. And one more thing I said, that you don't write H2 plus SO2, H2SO3. That is wrong. That is not stable. You practice more reactions which is given in the book. Now we are moving to the next section, and that is also important, and that is reaction of, this is 6 number, reaction with metal sulfide, IDE. Sulfide formula is S2 minus, it is divalent radical. So concept is, when acid react with metal sulfide, it always give salt plus hydrogen sulfide gas, which has rotten egg odor. What the smell? Rotten egg odor. So question can come, what do you observe when acid react with metal sulfide? So answer will be, it gives rotten egg odor. Okay, reaction, one example I am taking, rest you have to practice. You can take Na2S, you can take FeS, you can take ZnS. With HCl or any other acid, you can take H2, HCl, any acid you can take. Now the same method, break into ions, H plus and Cl minus. This will be, here is one will come here, this 2 will go there, it's 2 minus. Positive of the second will go with the negative of the first, will give NaCl, and this 2 will give H2S, gas. Up arrow means it is gas. Now the next reactions you have to practice. Now we are going to the moving to the last reaction, that is a reaction with chlorides or nitrates. Okay, आपको याद रखना है यहाँ पे one thing you have to remember that chloride or nitrates generally do not react with dilute acid. Okay, generally do not react with dilute acid. They react with concentrated acid. You must remember. But there are few chlorides and few nitrates which can react with dilute acid. So that are the exception. Once again, I'm going to repeat. Chlorides and nitrates do not react with dilute acids, but there are few exceptions, like barium chloride, few nitrates like lead nitrate. These chlorides, and more examples are also silver nitrate, mercury nitrate. These three nitrates, lead nitrate, silver nitrate and mercury nitrate, can react with dilute acid. But the rest of the nitrates and chlorides, except barium chloride, will only react with concentrated acid. Okay, so one example I am writing and rest you have to write. Dilute HCl. Same method you apply. This will be divalent, this will be monovalent, this will be monovalent, this will be monovalent. Positive of the first will go with the negative of the second. So we'll give, here you take H2SO4, H2SO4, because already chlorides will not react, will be SO4, 2 minus, so we'll give BSO4 and it will give HCl. Okay, similarly the next reaction you can practice. So here we discussed all kind of reactions. Now the last part is what are the uses of acids. You know that there are many uses of acids. It is used as home or household activities, like you know that vinegar is used in our kitchen because it is useful for us for making some foods. And you can say that you know that vinegar contains acetic acid. Similarly, you know that nitric acid is used as a fertilizer. Not fertilizer, that is explosive substance. You know that in fertilizer some acids are used to make fertilizers. Similarly, you know that some acids like boric acid is used as an antiseptic, or it is also used as other purpose. Okay, so there are many acids which are used for various purpose. So I hope I am clear with the physical and chemical properties of acids as well as how acids are prepared. You must watch video, pause and again watch, again pause, again watch, because it takes time to understand. So go through this video, and if at all any problem, any doubt, any reactions, if you are not understanding, you must comment in the comment box, and you please follow my channel Sachitometry, like it, subscribe it, and if you'll subscribe, surely you will get notification whenever I post video for you, either it is for your class or it is for motivational video, so that sometime I can also post video to motivate you for study or go on the right path. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson with Sachit Singh. Have a good day. Thank you.